Hello! Hi, and welcome to our February edition of Boozy Book Club. It's Romance Month. It is Leap Day. It's the 29th of February. We did lots of romance reading this month, and we're talking Wicked Sexy Liar by Christina Lauren, and we're talking The Road Not Taken by Sarah MacLean, our favorites, our absolute favorite romance authors. I'm
Love
Beth.
them.
I'm Beth, and I write for That's Normal, and my messages are going crazy. Sorry if you can hear
Sorry,
that.
that's me. That's me.
And I'm having a white wine that I don't remember what kind it is. It was in my fridge. And I'm excited to talk about these books. Say hi, guys.
Go, Jules.
Hi, I'm Julie. I write for That's Normal, and I'm drinking because I'm not cool, and I didn't get copper mugs, but I'm addicted to now Moscow Mules.
Oh.
So I'm drinking it in my Target London mug, which even makes me cooler than having a copper mug. So boom. Yeah. So yay! I can't wait because I loved Wicked Sexy Liar. I want Luke. I want to be in a tickle fight with him.
All right.
That's adorable.
Yeah, it's very adorable. I am Becca. I am going to hold my book, copy of Wicked Sexy Liar. I am drinking again because the Whole30 is over, and alcohol's fine. I'm totally fine. I just should never have beans, but alcohol seems to be fine with my system. So if anybody's interested in the Whole30, just Google it. Look at that's-normal.com/whole-30-survival guide, and you will find my survival guide, which is basically my complaints for a month. But I'm excited to talk about the books. Honestly, I read both of these books. I read Sarah MacLean's in December, and I read Wicked Sexy Liar in the beginning of January. So I know I got this book in November. I was the very first person Christina said to respond to them and say that I had finished it. So I don't remember anything. So let's refresh my memory. Terrible.
I read both of these books last year. I read Wicked Sexy Liar, in like November. And I I remember because Lauren texted me and was like, tell me when you get to this part. There's a whole scene written just for you.
What was it?
And we'll talk about it in a minute. But like, I remember being like, sending her all these texts being like, ha, this one. And she's like, no, that's not it. And I'd be like, this one. And she's like, no, you'll know when you get there. And then when I got there, I was like, oh, okay.
I can't think of anything that would be just for you.
I'll tell you. So, okay, Wicked Sexy Liar is Luke and London's story.
Mm-hmm.
Luke being Mia's ex,
Mm-hmm.
who we are introduced to through the girls talking about him in Sweet Filthy Boy. And they don't have many nice things to say about him. He seems like a jerk. He's an ex.
One of the fun things that we did before we forget, because this came out around Valentine's Day, right? Mm-hmm. We did an ex stories on That's Normal, and I edited that story together, and it's hilarious. There are really funny and terrible stories about our exes, and so if you have not read that, make sure you do. We'll put it in the show notes of this podcast /hangout so that you can look at that, because this is about exes, and so there's definitely some awkward things that happen between the girls and the girls that stick up for Mia and Luke and London, and there were some fun stories that we did to promote this.
Yes. I found it like really brave of everybody to talk about their exes. The ex that I talked about, A, my story was not interesting, but B, he passed away. So
yeah, yours was like a downer. Wait, is that the story you used?
I didn't use the story of him passing away. He didn't pass away when we were together. But like, he was a great boyfriend. I never had any problems with him. Like, we just mutually broke up because we got older. But like, I didn't feel bad. I don't have anything like there's no way he's ever gonna see it. But do you think anybody was worried that their exes?
100%. That's why I didn't do one.
Okay.
Because I'm still friends with.
Bad. I don't have anything
Sorry. Yeah, I was very nervous about that. Not that I think that my ex reads That's Normal, but
They could find it.
Right,
yeah.
Easily.
I wanted my ex to know that we called him the Mighty Barista. I was like, let this be known to the world. You were the Mighty Barista.
Do you think he knows? Is this a story that he wouldn't be okay with you telling?
Probably not. Probably he would have been like,
You didn't like
that.
date this guy.
We date. We
Oh, you
did.
did?
We kind of did. We didn't have a long-term relationship. Not at all. I mean, I literally like. For those of you who don't know and have not read it, and it's funny, I did work at Starbucks when I was 18 to 20 years old, and I did date many of my fellow coworkers, and many making out in the Frappuccino station in the back where you mix the Frappuccinos. And I can write a whole post on Starbucks secrets later. No, but I think, I mean, we were, he was, I will say he was kind of a rebound guy, but I mean, we hung out and I was like, he's a really sweet guy. And then it just started to progress a little bit more. And it was like, chemistry's not there. And then, and that's when he's like, you want to go back to my house? And then I saw all of the lovely wrestling action figures up on the wall displayed like you would for Star Wars, like a Star Wars toy.
My ex was into wrestling. He was into lots of stuff. He was into Star Wars. He was into all comic book characters. I probably spent more time at Toys R Us during the 5 years we were together than I did anywhere else, buying every edition of every toy that came out.
That's hilarious at Toys R Us, because Nikki does that with her current boyfriend, not an ex, but they don't go to Toys R Us. They go to like official toy conventions.
Well, we went to
like every weekend. She's like, I'm at a toy convention. I'm like, what?
Yeah, we did that too. We went to there was like a comic book store that we went to every like Wednesday when the comics came out, and then every Saturday morning. That was my life.
And it sounded wonderful.
But I would never write something about him permanently, like that was like a whole story about him, because they're all so terrible. Like I feel like I could say it on this. Like I always feel like this isn't for posterity when really it's everywhere. But like I would never be like the time he tore his shirt in half when I broke up with him. Like, I mean, he had on a gray Gap polo and he ripped it in grief. It was great.
That's amazing.
Did he rip it perfectly down where the A meets? Like it's G-A-P, no, and he ripped it perfectly down?
Really did not rip very well. He's not very strong. He's like, polyweave or whatever. But exes are weird.
So sorry, back to the book. It's about an ex.
It is. And although, like, it is about an ex, I was really excited about the book because I wanted to see them, like, redeem a character that you don't have a good feelings about from the get-go, that you don't know, like, how he's going to be. Because our ideas about Luke are that he is a man whore and had been since he broke up with Mia. And that is a lot of times my least favorite trope with a guy. Like, I hate the idea that the girl comes in and like fixes his man whoring ways.
Yeah.
How do y'all feel about that usually? And did you think that this book like cured you of disliking that, if you did dislike it or not?
Yeah, I mean that's a very like NA, right? Like that happens in new adult, which I guess these books technically could fall under, right? Isn't that kind of like the thing that they, because of that age range?
Yeah,
and they're a little over it. I feel like NA is just like this fad that doesn't really, I mean it still exists, but anyway. Yeah, I don't think it was like that. I think I didn't, like Luke was like I would never date him. I don't even think I would go home with him, even though, he's had a lot of experience, so maybe but then you're like, a little gross about it. Like he just was not, like London I absolutely loved.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also like that there was it was realistic, like that time that what was it, when they broke up or they weren't together yet or something, and there was another girl in the picture. Like, that's really, like, he didn't just come into her life and cure him forever. Like,
right.
No, he's a dude who had another opportunity. And he told her about it. Like, it was so mature and realistic that I think we don't see that.
Yeah. That was the thing, it was very realistic. Although I can't, like, I liked London, but I can't put myself specifically in her shoes where she's just like going and having sex with him and then being like, okay, see you later, and he's begging her to stay and she's like, nah, I'm gonna go home. Yeah. I'm not like that.
No, I would have dated at 20, because London's what, 23? She's 23 in the book, right? I would have gone for a guy like Luke, but I would not have acted like her. I would have tried to act like her and fail miserably to act like London. I would have been like, I love you so much. I Like it was funny because at the beginning of the book he talked about he knows those girls. He knows the way they are. They act nonchalant, but they're not. They want more. I would have been that girl.
Yeah.
I would have been that girl he was talking about, and that just made me love him even more. God dang it, you know.
Yeah, are there girls like London that are like so nonchalant about their sexuality and like who they're home with? Like, especially because, like, I don't know, it's like maybe the second or third time they have sex, and he's like, "Are you gonna let me put my mouth on you?" And she's like, "No, we don't do that." And I'm like, "Why are you not doing that, London?" Like,
I always question girls who say that. I'm like, what?
Like,
you get off another way?
Yeah,
anyway.
We don't do that. Speak for yourself, London. This one does it. You know?
But even if you're like not in the mood for that specific act, like it would make you fall in love with him. I'd be like, "Oh no, but I'm gonna have your babies later, if that's okay." Like I would want to cuddle with him forever. I would think that he totally loved me. I don't think she can just be like, "We're not even gonna play Titanfall. I'm just gonna see you some other time." Like I would just be in his arms immediately for forever. I'm pathetic.
Well, now
And
we
it was
know.
it was even because I'm the one who has read. I mean, of all three of us, I think I just finished this book. You know, this afternoon I finished this book. So there was that one part where the part that we're talking about where he even said, "Well, how about over the panties? If I did it over the panties?" And I was like this. I was like, "Oh my god, just yes, just say yes, please, just say yes, please." And she said no, and I'm like, "Damn it."
I feel like that's what Christina and Lauren are like really good at, is like knowing that thing that we're gonna like gravitate towards and like keeping it from us. Like they wrote a dry humping scene in my favorite book of theirs forever, which was Beautiful Player. Like, who does that? Who writes about dry humping? Christina Lauren did.
Yeah. Dry humping's the best.
Dry humping is the best. Why don't more people write about it?
Why don't more people do it?
Right,
They
exactly.
wrote about it. They wrote about it in this book too.
They do? They dry hump in this book?
There was a dry hump where they're trying to be friends. I don't know what this means. I'm so sorry.
Where they were trying to have puppets together?
They were trying to have puppets, and they were playing a game, and then it was like they got into a tickle fight, hence why I want a tickle fight with you.
Oh, got it.
And then it became wrestling, and then they started dry humping.
You're
Nice.
welcome for that. I would like to know what page that is so I can reread that.
It's on. No, I'm joking. I didn't have that.
Oh, man.
Heidi, one of our writers, and she's tweeting us right now, said that she just realized that Mia got to have both Luke and Ansel in one lifetime, and now she hates her a little. Like, come on. Luke is the guy you lose your virginity to, and then you end up with Ansel.
But Luke wasn't skilled before.
That's true.
I think that when he was with Mia, he probably was like, it was probably okay, but like they lost their virginity to each other, and then they just kind of probably fumbled around for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. Always a bright side.
Yeah. The silver lining is he hadn't gotten great at it yet.
Yeah. Now he's really great at it.
But maybe like Mia taught him some things that London got to experience later on, once he had honed his skills. Oh, man.
Luke.
I don't like a man whore. Like, I have to really suspend my disbelief that they will ever be faithful. And that's terrible. That's a terrible way to feel, because there are plenty of people out there that have had lots of sex with lots of different people. Present company included, and like they're plenty capable of being faithful, and like still when like I'm faced with a man whore character, I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that's interesting that you would think that, because again, you have some experience there, but maybe don't think it's interesting that you think that. I think the reasoning that you think that they're going to be they're going to cheat, they're not going to be able to say it, like I wouldn't expect you to say that. I just think you gravitate towards a more innocent man.
An Edward.
Someone you can teach, impart your wisdom onto.
Edward and Jamie. That's the most ridiculously true thing you've ever said about me.
I know you very well. I've smushed ahead of you.
Oh my goodness.
What did you just say? Edward and who?
Jamie Fraser.
Oh, yes! This is completely true.
It's was ridiculous.
Yep. This is what you gravitate towards.
I think
Just
you
because a man has more experience does not mean he's going to cheat. I think it just means he was getting it all out like you did before he settled down.
Now I'm thinking of Edward and Jamie fan fiction. Make it happen, somebody.
I'll do that. I'll do
Make
that.
it happen, Beth.
I feel bad. I feel like that's such a double standard. I have a terrible double standard in romance reading, I guess. I don't, but it's not that I don't enjoy it. I loved Luke. I thought he was actually, after Finn, my second favorite of the wild seasons guys. So let's do that. Let's talk. There's 4 of them, so we're gonna have to do like an extra. But let's do FMK with the Wild Seasons boys. Ansel, Finn, Oliver, and you get a freebie. You get to choose twice with another one with Luke.
Oh my god.
Okay, so FMK with the Wild Seasons boys.
I have to remember their stories. Hold on, I'm thinking.
Finn's the fisherman. Ansel's the freshman. Oliver, is he Australian?
Yes,
Oliver's Australian.
Oliver, I love so much.
I know, it's really difficult. How are they all so great? Damn you, Christina Lauren.
You know what? I was talking with my friend Katie, who introduced me to Christina Lauren, and I just said, if hands down, Christina Lauren for me write the best men. They really do.
Yeah.
They're right. It's just consistent, hot, strong men that I just want to all like love and tickle fight with. So here we go.
And they're all funny, and they all are like aware of themselves. Well, Finn kind of isn't. Okay, I'm ready.
All right, go.
All right, go.
I am going to F Ansel.
Oh.
Because he's French. And really good. I think that Ansel has some of the best sex scenes of the series. I'm going to kill Oliver, which is really a sad thing to say, because I really like his book a lot, but I have a hard time hearing the Australian accent in my head and not laughing at it. So I'm going to say that. And then I love Australian accents. I do. Just I can't do it, and so anyway, laugh at it when I hear it. And then I'm going to also kill Luke because I had to double down on somebody. Well, I guess I could just F Luke too. Well, F Luke and Hansel. But I'm marrying Finn. Finn is my favorite. Finn is my favorite by far.
I'm not surprised. Cart hearts.
Yes. Finn is, I'm a blue collar girl. Finn is just, he's perfect.
Are you going to Luke? You killing him or effing him?
I'll F him.
Okay.
But just the once.
Just the once. I think that's the rule. You only get one.
Yeah. Okay. I would marry Ansel because I just loved him as a husband. I think he's fantastic as a husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
He's just extremely sweet. Plus the opportunity, even though they no longer live in Paris, I still want to go live in Paris. Just that opportunity.
The dual citizenship is a big deal.
It is a big deal. It is a big deal. I would F Finn because F me.
You like the ropes?
I like
the ropes.
That oh my god. I'm just thinking of the book again. Like lines are shooting back at me, and I'm just having a moment. Sorry.
Really?
No, when he's ties her up, or no, when she asks him how many of the women that he's been with did he tie up, and he says all of them, and she gets kind of dejected, and he goes, "Yeah, I like it." Like you're just like, oh
God.
I don't even remember that because you know I'm gonna kill.
And I would kill Oliver, but I would do it like Basic Instinct style. So I would still do it during sex. With an ice pick and just boom, like Gone Girl style.
Oh, gross.
So what are you gonna do to Luke?
Oh, that's right, Luke.
You get to double down.
You're right. He's a man whore, so why not be I'll be just. It sounds so bad to say whore because I'm like, no.
No, you're going to be a sexually independent woman.
I'm gonna have to F Luke too. Maybe there's visions going through my head.
Maybe Luke and Finn at the same time.
Oh my God, that's exactly what I was thinking.
That's the best thing I've ever thought. That's the best thought I've ever had.
You're welcome. Happy Monday, everybody. God.
This Boozy Book Club is terrible.
Terrible. It's amazing.
Becca?
Oh, sorry, I'm tweeting. Okay, I would. Let me write it while I'm doing this. What would I do, guys? You're all very rude and terrible. I'm gonna. I love Oliver. I think I have to marry him. I get to have sex with him if we get married, right?
No.
What? It's just like boring sex.
Yes, it's boring sex with Oliver, which is what it would be. I'm just kidding. It'd be fine.
Oh.
No, I loved him. He was like Will to me. They're just nerdy. I'm into nerds.
I liked him too.
Would I marry Oliver? I really want to fuck him though. I'm gonna kill Luke. Hands down. Sorry, Luke.
Okay.
I'm gonna kill Luke. Ansel. I liked Ansel. Marrying Ansel would be good. It's a little
You can
boring.
double down, Marianne.
Yeah, I'm gonna marry Ansel. I'm gonna get 2 marriages in this. Why not? Marrying Oliver, killing Luke, marrying Ansel, and Finn. Nope. Don't want to fuck Finn. I'm gonna kill him.
What?
I'm gonna kill Finn. I just typed kill fun. Sorry guys, more for you. I guess I can't marry, so I'm gonna fuck Ansel.
Oh.
I'm really upset at you.
Why
How
kill
can you
Finn? Oh.
Why Finn?
No.
Because he fishes. I'm not into the blue collar guys, girls.
He's so great.
He has a boat.
He's reticent and
No.
oh man.
Oh,
I really like him a lot.
No.
Guys, there's not room for me in your foursome.
Would you at least kill him like Basic Instinct style?
I'm sure.
Don't let him go like that.
Don't throw him back.
No. Let's see. Okay, Leslie Emp says F Oliver, kill Luke, marry Finn. F Oliver, kill Luke, marry Finn. Oh, so she doesn't care about Ansel.
How can you not care
Okay.
about Ansel? He does that really cute thing with his mouth. And he says, "How do you say sweet tooth?" Oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
Does not anyone appreciate a man from Paris anymore, from France? God, what
Heidi. Here's Heidi. She wants to F Finn. All right, join the club.
Yeah.
Marry Ansel. Kill. Can I kill the comic books and video games, but still keep Oliver and Luke? Sure. In this game, you can.
Yeah, obviously, we have no rules. Our FMK is just ruleless.
Heidi thinks it's funny that I said I don't like Finn because he fishes, and I'm not into blue collar guys. Sorry to all the viewers out there who are disappointed to find out that about me.
That's funny too because I don't like slick I don't like Bennett.
I don't
Aw.
like Bennett. Well, but I would fuck him.
I could care less. I feel like he would smell like Dracar Noir and have pomade in his hair, and I'd have to be
I thought I knew you guys well. I don't know. I'm questioning our friendships right now. I'm so sad. I'm so sad.
Dracar Noir, guys, which is not a terrible thing to admit.
God.
What are you upset about? You like Bennett?
You like Bennett?
do like Bennett. It was because it was my first foray into Christina Lauren, and
Yeah.
he's like the Godfather. for me.
That is exactly how I picture him too,
That's about right.
The God.
like the Godfather.
Oh God, like big Marlon Brando sitting in a chair.
I don't know. I probably if I picked up Beautiful Bastard on its own and had no history with Bennett as Edward Cullen, I'd probably be like, eh. But I'm not into bankers, ad agency guys that. I would not be impressed. A doctor, yes, because he sometimes wears scrubs. That's fairly blue collar. I'm into that. But yeah,
It is fairly blue collar. All that 8 to 12 years of education.
But they're
to wear those scrubs.
they're not into how they have to look all the time. I don't like that. I have guys that have to be fussy
I
about
don't.
how they look.
I don't in theory but I think I do more than I want to admit.
Hmm.
Like that like high, like agency, like that. I think not like a douchey guy, but I
Yeah.
Yeah, but
think
like, does that super exist outside of fantasy where there's a dude in a great suit who's so put together and so well groomed and he isn't obsessed with himself and douchey?
yeah, I
Does
think it
that
does.
really exist?
Yeah, I
I'm
think so.
sure.
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sure.
I know some people like that.
Maybe
Or
I
like
don't.
in New York, if you work in Manhattan, everyone's like that, but they might live in Brooklyn and like be
Right.
like hipstery as
Yeah.
well, but like still they're ad execs or whatever.
So
Not
they have
saying
like
that's
Right.
yeah.
tattoos under there somewhere.
Right, exactly.
Oh.
Yeah, that I could deal with.
I gotta help a little.
Okay, so let's talk about the book. We are the
All
worst.
right. Sorry. Sorry.
So
Sorry.
I don't really know what to say other than I loved the fact that there was Luke more so pining for London than the other way around in this one, and like just how that role was kind of switched around, and you never really like got the idea that he's stringing her along, despite the fact that that's how she feels it's what's going on. So, um, what did y'all think? Did you like that idea that like he's the one kind of
Yeah, pursuing her as
trying to
opposed to her. Yeah, yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
reel her in?
I liked that. I liked that reversal. I liked the fact that he was also working, but I liked the fact he was working on himself. It wasn't that, London was the catalyst, but he still was working on himself. But I liked the fact that he was pursuing her and trying to be a better person for himself, but also for her. I liked that. I thought that was really sweet.
Me
So
too. Me too.
I was just
Sorry,
tickled
Do
I'm
by
you
busy
guys have
the.
eating.
do you guys have any contemporary authors other than Christina Lauren that are like your go-to romance reading? Like a bunch of the girls in our Goodreads group were talking about how like nobody else is writing this that they enjoy to the same degree. Do you guys feel the same way, or do you just maybe don't have experience with any others, or what?
No, they're my go-to.
Yeah, they might go to. There is another author that I think I shipped it out to somebody. What's her name? That I enjoy. I think she might also be on Simon and Schuster. Jennifer something. No. Um,
Uh,
no, what's her name? That I do like her stories, and they're a lot more female. A lot of times they're more like they'll end up with a guy, but it's a lot more about the girl relationships and stuff, which is like a little different. Christina Lauren are
Mm-hmm.
generally about a couple.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And that's one of the things that we've talked about as a group before. I think Jamie has brought it up before too, like encouraging our friends that are writers or just out there, any authors, to write a story. Like I watched the movie How to Be Single
Mm-hmm.
as well as Julie did. Like how that, I think obviously I don't know how the book ends, but in the
Yeah.
movie you kind of assume that there was some guy that eventually comes in the picture.
Right.
But you it's basically about that. A girl finding her freedom and her singleness, and
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't happen a lot. And I think it can be like we just talked about, like where we're used a girl that sleeps around a lot. We're gonna still be like horror, but we don't.
Yeah.
I don't believe that like at
Right.
all. So
Right.
can we? Yeah, that would be a really cool contemporary read. I think a girl who's like out there finding her freedom and romance and love and finds it, has heartache, and doesn't end up with the guy and is happy and fine. And I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. And if you haven't seen How to Be Single, you really need to go see that movie. That movie, I was shocked with that movie, but yeah, it's that notion of she's young and she's not going to immediately settle down and not everything's going to fall into place. She's going to make mistakes and she's going to tumble and she's going to be with this guy and be with that guy, and that's part of just finding yourself. And yeah, so but in regards to Christina Lauren, they're my go-to. Really, I've tried to pick up other authors, and I can't really think of any right now that come to mind, but Christina Lauren for me is my go-to. So, well done, ladies.
Yes, they are. It is very well done. It's the best. I mean, it's just the. I mean, they're just good at it. You girls are
Yeah.
good at it. It's ridiculous. It's kind of annoying how good you are at it. I mean, even like text banter, stuff like that. And it's not like hemmed up with like weird details. I tried picking up some other people and like the girl will be wearing something that's so bananas that if a real girl was wearing it, I'd be like, oh no, we're not friends. No, I don't know why she's wearing that. So like it's stuff like that takes you out of a contemporary story happens so often that it's really
I think they
nice.
have the benefit of each other. Like,
Right.
we were writing books together. Like, I think of Nikki and I that do so much together. Like, you bounce that off, and you're gonna be like, "What are you putting that character in?" Or like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't think they necessarily write dialogue back and forth, but I'm sure that they edit it back and forth or clean it up back and forth. Like, Lo might write a section, and then so it's not like you're gonna be Ansel and I'm gonna be Mia. Where am I putting my hand?
They just do that alone. That's how you be Ansel, I'll be Mia. Let's choreograph this out. So getting back to the section that was just for me, I wish I could find it. But like while I was reading through it, Lauren had said, you'll know it when you see it. And like she said something about, at one point she said something about Coldwater Creek and Chico's. And I was like, I think it was Luke's grandmother. Like that's where she'd been shopping. And I was like, Coldwater Creek, because like I know I've tweeted about Coldwater Creek and Chico's before. She was like, no, that's not it. I was like, damn it. I thought that was it. So we keep going. Okay, so do you remember this scene where Lund comes to Luke's house and she is looking through his cabinets and she finds the single Pop-Tart?
Yes.
And she's like, what's wrong with you? Why do you have half packages of Pop-Tarts? And he's like, because sometimes I just want one. And she's like, are you a sociopath? Like, how can you not eat them both? And I have never eaten 2 Pop-Tarts together in my entire life. I don't understand why they don't send them in single servings. And I once went on a Twitter rant. I was tweeting Kellogg's specifically, like, send me frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts in single serving packages. This second one is going to waste. Do you know how many Pop-Tarts have been crushed to death at the bottom of my book bag and my locker and the floor of my car and the bottom of my purse and my diaper bag?
How many Pop-Tarts are you eating?
I eat them regularly. But every season of my life is plagued at some point with the crumbs of the second Pop that I didn't finish. Because who can eat 2? That's too much food. Anyway.
Too much sugar.
So
Oh my God.
I think in college I lived on Pop-Tarts and Dr. Pepper. And even still today, like that's a fine meal for me. And so, anyway.
She actually is 425 pounds. You just can't tell.
Totally.
So that was the part where they wrote for you?
That was written for me and my Pop-Tart sociopathicness, because apparently people that don't eat both of them, something is wrong with them. So thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I like to be immortalized by my anorexic nature. I don't think it's that at all. Perfectly fine. It should be single servings.
Oh my God.
We're going to rank the Wild Seasons books.
We do.
I mean, you're going to rank them by the guys, right?
No. I think you can rank them by the couple.
Yeah, that's true.
How much do you love like their struggle or like their issue or whatever, and like how it together in the end.
Yeah.
So we have Ansel and Mia who get married at the very beginning and move to Paris together and struggle to get connected and to be connected, and then he drops this bombshell on her and she leaves him. And then you have Finn and Harlow who have like one night stands and push each other away, and I love both of them. So, but I don't remember how their story gets reconciled. What's the deal with them?
She shows up in the trench coat. No, that was earlier.
No,
That's the beginning.
There was something with she tried to make him into a reality show.
No, he's trying to do the reality show.
He did something without his permission in regards to.
She went to her dad's friend and tried to get him on a boat, to do like a movie so that they could have enough money to have their boats back, and he wouldn't have to do the reality show. And he was like, "How dare you do that without me or whatever."
Right.
That's what that was.
Right. And then Oliver and Lola, obviously she was the the comic book movie, and her comic book was pretty much being taken over by a studio, and
Right.
he was trying to get.
They're best friends to more. Like they're best friends. They're both in love with each other, but they don't know it.
Yeah.
And so then they have to get together. So that's their story. And then there's Luke and London, who are reformed man horror tries to get girl to see him for, I don't know,
Not man horror.
a viable option.
All right, so me, the Oliver and Lola story. I can't remember any of them. Where are they? Got them over here
Dark
somewhere.
Wild Night.
Dark Wild Night. Then Sweet Filthy Boy. Then Wicked Sexy Liar. Then Fisherman Porn. I haven't read that one in so long. Maybe I would absolutely love it. I didn't connect with him as much. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
And her. She drove me nuts.
Oh, I love Harlow. No, she's my favorite one. She's my favorite girl.
Yeah, I'm with you, Becca. Harlow, I just want to be like,
no. Rich
stop
girl,
getting your
shut
friend.
up. Yep.
Stop getting in your friend's business.
Yep. Yes, especially when she it's not London's fault.
Yeah.
I didn't like her being mad at London.
Yeah, that was my issue.
That was I don't like Harlow. Harlow and I ain't brands.
Yeah, I kind of
like
felt like. Yeah, I felt like I understand you're being very protective of your friends, and I appreciate that. But if you were my friend, I'd be like, look at my husband. He's French. He speaks French to me, and we're kinky together. It's okay. You can stop protecting me.
Yeah, probably.
Let
but
London,
I like that.
And that's good. That's good. You know, I'd rather have that in a friend than a friend who's like, good, do whatever you want. You know? So, yeah.
Okay, I'll rank books. I actually, despite the fact that I love Finn, Dirty Rowdy Thing is not my favorite couple. It's not my favorite story. I really think that Oliver and Lola's story is my favorite. I love Friends to More. That's like, I love that idea. Like the idea that they were the most prudent, like their night in Vegas or whatever. Like they got married, but they just annulled it. They didn't have sex. They just spent the night talking, and then they became really great friends. And I just love their story. Love how proud he is of her throughout their whole book. Like I just love their book. So Dark Wild Night, Sweet Filthy Boy, because I really love Ansel in the way that their story is reconciled. And then Dirty Rowdy Thing, and then Wicked Sexy Liar. It's hard to rank them.
Yeah. They all have their thing. Yeah. Doesn't mean you didn't like the last one. It's just it wasn't your favorite out of the...
Right. Okay. So, all right. You guys will have to fill me in on the titles, because I just go by characters and who's who.
Go so, blue book, red book.
Exactly. Orange. I know the colors.
There's the colors.
Wait, what color is Finn's book?
Red.
Yeah. Red. Okay.
I actually don't know how I have the physical.
I will go with Ansel and Mia's story for my first choice, because I loved Ansel. I loved the fact that she went off with him to Paris. I think that is every girl's fantasy, and I don't care how old you are. Even when you get into your 30s, that is still your fantasy.
True.
And
it might be worse when you're in your 30s.
It's so worse, because then you throw in children to it, and then you give your children French names. Like, hello, Madeleine. Madeleine and Jacques. Finger painting. Near the Louvre. Anyway, so it does get bad. And then it has to go with Finn and Harlow, because more of Finn than Harlow. And then it will go Luke and London. Plus, I think their names are awesome together, and I get to see their wedding invitations. Just L. And then I'll go with Oliver and Lola, because I really liked Oliver, and I just wanted Lola to kind of get her shit together.
Yeah, she did need to get her shit together.
But I really liked Oliver, but yeah, they did. So
you had an interesting thought, Julie. You started telling us, and we made you stop, about what the next book would be. Which, is there another book in this series, Beth?
I mean, if you got the Target version, you got Not Joe's Story, and Not Joe's Story has Perry in it.
Oh, okay. So then I'm completely wrong, because I didn't get the Target version.
No, I didn't either. I got the version they sent me in the mail.
Yeah, I got the online. I got the e-reader version. So then I'm completely wrong because I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be Not Joe's.
So is it like a novella of Not Joe's story?
Not quite the length of a novella, I don't think. I didn't read it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Then I'm wrong. So I thought it was going to be, or Dylan, because that's what he's called, and we find out his real name is Dylan, and that's who I thought it was going to be. I thought it was Dylan. So maybe it's going to be something with Margot. So, or I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I thought that was going to be it right there was,
Who's
Margot
Margot?
and Dylan.
Margot is Luke's sister.
Oh yeah. Oh, I liked. She was sweet.
I forgot what she does for a living.
I don't remember either.
But she does something.
Is
she a doctor?
Maybe. I'm getting her confused with the
Is
Margot.
that a blue-collar job or
Lesbian?
Oh.
Terrible. Please, nobody watch this.
Margot.
All right. So overall, we have to talk about another book. Overall, great book.
Great book.
Great book. Get it. Good book.
Sexy, fun. You're going to want, like, somebody to say things to you the way he says them to her when they're having sex, and you're going to want somebody to text you cool stuff, and it's not going to happen.
But you're going to want it. And they have a book, actually a novella that came out today called Beautiful Boss.
Yes.
Yes.
You should get. I have it around. Oh, it's on my nightstand. I'm not going to get it.
Hold on, I have it right here.
Okay, Beth's going to get it, just in case we need to see the color, which is purple.
They're going to run out of
I
colors.
can't hear what y'all are saying about me.
Oh, I'm just talking about the color of the book. It's
Yeah.
purple. And this is a story about Hannah.
And Will.
And Will. Love it. My favorite.
Tell me to go to one page. I'll read the second paragraph on that page. Quick.
Okay. What did you say?
Say a page number.
47.
Damn.
I'm feeling like it's going to be a good dry humping scene.
It's not. Hannah, what's the deal with the job hunt? Bennett asked. A true drunk Bennett, proactive displeasure. That's it.
Wow.
Did he have pomade in his hair at the time?
Yeah.
Being all godfather-y?
If you
Totally.
scratch
His cologne was way too strong during that.
if
whole
you
thing.
scratch it, do you smell Dracar Noir?
Yeah. Scratch and sniff.
Scratching.
All right, so the other book we read this month was Sarah MacLean's A Rogue Not Taken. The Rogue Not Taken, yeah. Beth has it. It's also purple. She has my copy.
I do have your copy.
You have it's your copy now, whatever.
I really cracked the spine on this one.
I think it was already cracked by the time I said it. Sarah MacLean is. I actually haven't read. I don't know if I've read any historical romance this year yet, guys, but I read a lot of historical romance last year.
You did.
Like I caught up with Loretta Chase, who was amazing. Eloisa James, like these old classic. I don't know if they're old, but they've written for years, like since the 90s or whatever. And there's something about Sarah because she's younger and she only has maybe 8 or 9 books by now, 10, something like that. She clearly learned from like the classics. Like she crafts a story like someone who's been doing it for 50 years.
Yeah. And
this was definitely no different. I think what I wrote down, and again, it's been forever since I read this, so I had to look at my notes again, but this was the slowest burn historical romance I can remember. I said, generally by halfway through the book, we can expect some sort of sexual activity. She's at least felt the bulge by a quarter way in, but this one was like the slowest burn. Sarah wanted us to want this as much as our heroine did.
Yeah, it was a slow burn, and like at least at some point he's like pulled a bodice down and sucked a nipple, and like there was none of that. It took a long time for them to get together, and then when they did, she's like, I don't really need you, King's Coat. It's his name, King's Coat. But I loved it. I loved the idea that she hates him, and that they go from haters to lovers. That's like another great romance trope that I think is a lot of fun.
Yeah, and so it's so not typical in historical romance to find this like independent woman. This girl spoke her mind. She was very strong. She was like, no, I do not need a man. Like a lot of these girls are trying to trick men into marriage, and she was like complete opposite of that. She hates the the town, whatever. She hates the society. Is it ton? Is that how you say it? You don't know either. Okay, good.
worst Regency romance reader.
I mean, I don't like listen to it on audiobook. I have no idea. Ton. It's probably
The Ton.
The Ton. I think it's Ton.
I think it's the Ton, but
but it sounds like she hates the Ton.
she hates.
I mean, okay.
Whatever. Yeah, she hates it. So she's kind of very anti like that typical woman that needs a man to rescue her.
So here's the thing with this particular series that Sarah is writing, is it starts with this one, and it's called, I guess, the Scoundrel series, Scandal and Scoundrel book 1.
This is the first one. Yeah. Okay.
Scandal and Scoundrel. She based this, if you remember, Sophie is one of 5 sisters, and they call them the Soiled S's, like their whatever their last name is. And or the Dangerous Daughters. They have these little names for them, and the whole book is caught up in like the chapter names are like headlines, like the cure for carriage queasiness and stuff like that. Like they're constantly, talking about. All of the chapters are written like a headline: mistreatment by male, North Road or North Rude, stuff like that. So she's basing this whole series on the Kardashians. So yeah. So we can expect more stories from the other daughters who all have totally different personalities than Sophie and who do like the attention and trying to get a man and all of that stuff. And so she said that that's what this series is about. It's like, the Regency romance version of what it would be like if the Kardashians were in Regency England. So I hate the Kardashians. So
wow.
Does one of the sisters make a sex tape and marry Kanye West?
She's gonna marry. Yeah, how's that gonna work? The performer of the day.
Well, she has a sister named Cecily, who she said that all of the men call sexily, and that's just so degrading, and she hates it. But she has this sister who would do anything, like in front of whoever, and then she has another sister who has like a big fight with her beau on the street and stuff like that. So. I'm interested just to see where she goes with the ones that aren't the mousy, I hate my wealth and I want to go back and live in Scotland or whatever.
Yeah, and she does have a sister that's like married, the one that gets the scoundrel off where the husband was having an affair and she pushes him into that girl who seems to really love her husband from what I remember.
Yes.
She trapped him into marriage, but she really loves him, so I'm sure her story is going to be about getting her man back.
Yes, and that's the one I can't wait for because he's been sleeping with other people. So it's going to be, that one's going to hurt. So I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't realize that I already forgot because it's been like about 7 months since I read the book.
Yeah.
Great.
Something about these historical romances that are so much fun is that aspect of like the things that we're trapped by. Like we're not trapped by that stuff anymore. Like if you catch your husband having sex with somebody, you can leave him or you can stay with them or you can do whatever you want.
And there's Facebook.
Right. Yeah. But like they are trapped by their society, and so it just creates a whole nother set of issues that it makes for just such a great dramatic tension that you don't necessarily get with contemporary romances. I love it. I'm so about it.
Yeah, there's something so like I try to explain it to people who don't read historical romance. Do you read it at all, Julie? I know you didn't finish this book or start it.
I'm not really into historical. I like more modern, so that's why I think I really like Christina Lauren. I will finish this because now I'm interested because I'm like, okay, Kardashians, let's do this.
Yeah, and especially her. She's a good place to start if you're not familiar with it because I think some of it's a little too like the Dukes and the Lords and like you're like I'm lost. Like you don't need to know any of that shit.
And that's for me. I'm like, okay.
But then I do get into it. I want to know. This is a legitimate time. I don't know if it was scandalous. Maybe it was. Probably. It's like an actual thing that happened in time and not that long ago.
Right.
And I think that's what's so fascinating about it, and just seeing these strong, many times, not always, but these strong women and these characters that aren't able to be, but a lot of them find legitimate love in a time when that was not valued. It was just about continuing the family and keeping the money and doing the right transactions to keep your land in a certain place. And I think it's just really fascinating. There's something about it that, like, I love that some of the smartest women I know are obsessed with historical romance. Women who have big jobs in government and are doctors. There's people who've written us before that have been like, I'm a ER surgeon, and I just, at the end of the day, this is what I do. Like, it's not too, people just look at it as supermarket, like, mommy porn.
Yeah.
And sure, it's not your deep thinker stuff, but I don't know the person who's sitting down at 11 p.m. in bed to read, like, a big thinker piece. I mean, if you have that kind of life, tell me about it.
I kind of do sometimes.
Like, let me hand you some of the things I have to do during the day. If you can finish your day with a big thinker piece.
Last week at my nighttime reading was Howard Zinn's A People's History of the United States, which
Oh my God.
gigantic.
I could do that at night. There's one thing I could read, like, great Atlantic articles on the train that take me 45 minutes. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But I cannot do it at
No.
11 p.m. at night.
No.
Well, I
At
do
night-
fall asleep.
Yeah.
No.
Not surprised.
Yeah, I was going to say, at night it's all about I need to read. That's like why some people, when they say to me, "How do you find time?" You make time.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah, the heavy pieces you have to save. You have to save between like 9 and 3 o'clock. After 3 o'clock, nope.
You're not going to survive.
It's time
Done
for
with that.
fluff. It's time for my fluff. Shush.
Well, if you're new to historical romance, Sarah MacLean is an amazing place to start, and she has the great thing about most historical writers, they're not one-off books. There's like a series, and you get to know these characters, and some of them go on for like, sometimes I'm reading a Loretta Chase book, and I'm like, I know I read about this person like 15 books ago, and they're not connected, but they are, or they're talking about the
Right.
magazine that person worked, and it's really cool how they do that. So Sarah's, she has 9, the number, something about Love by the Numbers or something. That's her first series, and it starts with 9 ways to get a rake or something, and then the next book is 10 ways to land a lord. You know, it's something cutesy like that. That's not my favorite series. Her next series, which I can't remember what it's called,
The Rules of Scoundrels.
The Rules of Scoundrels, is amazing. That one's so
Yes,
good.
it's so good. She totally takes these women who are in positions that, you know, it's not your typical like Jane Austen family where they're just sitting around doing nothing, and the guy who's also sitting around doing nothing. Like, there's a woman who basically like runs an orphanage for other like women who are cast out or whatever, and she has thrown in the path of this, you know, rich handsome duke or whatever. I mean, she just has all of this stuff that necessarily part of the historical romance world, and she makes it realistic, and it's, for as much as that stuff is realistic, and it's fun to read. But the Rules of Scoundrel series is by far, I've read probably, I would say I've read maybe six or eight different series of Regency romances. So six or eight, not as many as Becca, but I've read a lot of them, and still my favorite. Like, it's the most distinctive to me in my brain, the Rules of Scoundrel series, just because the characters are so broad and so different, and she went there with some stuff that just some of the other ones just don't do. Plus, they're really hot. They're very sexy. I was sitting at my regular book club last month, and we were just talking about like what book we were going to read next, and somebody was asking, a couple of them had read some Sarah MacLean, and then somebody was like, what are y'all even talking about? And we're like, historical romance are so great, and they just gave us this look like it was so gross, and I wanted to be like, y'all are missing out. I know you would love it. What's wrong with you? Pick it up.
So
you know,
good.
it's not like grossest Harlequin thing you can think of. They're great, and I
Right.
couldn't even convince some of them to read it. So hopefully we can convince some of you. If you're not into it, you should be.
Yeah, another one that always comes to mind is the Dressmaker series by Loretta Chase. That's like so good as well.
Yes.
But Sarah MacLean was, I think, the first Regency author I read, which is kind of crazy because she's a newer compared to a lot of these OGs. So
Yeah.
So she'll always be beloved in our hearts. So yes, this was the month of love.
It was. And next
we ended-
month.
Yes, talk about next month.
Next month is Movie March. We're going to read some books that are going to be movies soon, or movies in 2016 at least. I really wanted to read Ready Player One, which is not coming out till like 2018, and everybody's already read it. Like, it's sitting right there, and I keep going, I really want to read you. I need a reason to read you. So what we're going to read instead is the Michael Fassbender movie that's coming out in September, is Light Between Oceans. I know a lot of people have already read that with their regular book clubs because it was a huge blockbuster hit or bestseller. But we're going to read that for Boozy Book Club so that we can be well prepared to have good opinions on the movie when it comes out, because apparently it's going to rip us all to pieces, and we want to know what we're talking about. And the other one that we're going to read, I have both of them, pick them up, is Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs, which is also a series that is complete now, but it's going to be coming out in the fall. And so that's our optional book for March. So it's Movie March, Light Between Oceans and Miss Peregrine's. So those, get started with them. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll have some good reviews coming up when those hit the shelves. So yeah. Yay, Boozy Book Club.
Yay.
I'm only partially intoxicated.
I know, me too. It's like I just can't drink like I used to.
It's not like that night we talked about Poison Princess.
Wait, I don't remember that night.
Poison Princess was the Cressley Cole book that we read.
Such a good book.
And I was just like hugging my drink.
Isn't she supposed to read more of that, or she finished that?
It is not finished. When that series finishes.
That bitch needs to finish those books.
Listen here, Cressley.
Listen to us, Cressley. I love Cressley Cole. There's this, when I first listened to the band London Grammar, I was reading her Immortals After Dark series, and that's like a series that's, if no one's ever read it, it's just basically take every like immortal creature and fuck them and put them together and make them fuck. Like, that is the series. Every book is like, this witch is doing it with this fairy, and then this witch is doing it with this wolf, and then sometimes they're not interspecies and it's wolves, and then they like hate each other and there's this fight. Anyway, it's just like 18, 20 books of that, and I just kept reading and listening to this album. So every time it comes on, I'm like thinking about like wolf sex. Like, it's just like, it's like, I'm not kidding. Every time I'm like, I'm gonna tweet something because right now I'm thinking about really hot wolf men doing it right now, and it's to this beautiful song by a band from England.
Why doesn't anybody put on their iTunes review for London Grammar, wolf sex?
I may do that.
Anyway, why does this one girl have wolf sex all over her London Grammar reviews? What does this have to do with what we wrote?
I don't even think they're called wolves. Shapeshifters, whatever. It doesn't matter.
There's werewolves in that book. There's werewolves in those books.
Yeah, you said wolf sex, and that just makes it even better. So,
speaking of wolf sex, I'll say this too for those people that have been around Boozy Book Club for a couple of years now. Our very first book that we ever read.
Right. Oh, I hated that book so much.
Written in red. It has the fourth installment of that series is coming out this month, and it's called Marked in Flesh. And there's going to be wolf crotch in it.
It was such a terrible book.
It wasn't.
I hated it so much.
It wasn't. It just didn't have
sex.
It didn't have sex in it, so you were disappointed.
But it needed to, because it had these undertones of it. It was just so weird.
Not everything is straightforward. Maybe you have to, it's a windy, twisty world that you appreciate for what it is. I'm going to read the whole series when it's done. I have Marked in Flesh already. Somebody gave it to me early, but I haven't read the third one. I'm going to read them all. I'm with you, Ann Bishop. I'm going to read those books. So if you've been with Boozy Book Club for a long time, get ready. Marked in Flesh is coming this month, I think.
Oh, woo, can't wait. All right, well, this has been an hour. Look at us, guys, right on the dot.
Yeah, we really went in depth on those books, too.
We're like 20 minutes in and out, just the three of us.
just like Luke and London sex.
Right.
Drink that Moscow Mule out of your ceramic mug.
It's freaking done. Damn it.
Well, all right. Get ready for our next hangout. Will be the end of March the 28th. We'll talk about Light Between Oceans and Peregrines, and then get ready for Hang Outlander, which is coming back right after that. On the heels of Boozy Book Club, we'll be back weekly with Hang Outlander, you guys.
It's coming back
in April.
Like
a month away.
Yeah.
5 weeks now.
Prepare yourselves.
Prepare me. And you.
Yeah, we don't know. We got to find time for our website again.
Oh, damn it.
We've had like a nice, how long has it been? A year and a half break? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Forever. It'll be good. We're excited. Hatlander's coming back.
Hotlander.
Yeah, that was an accident. All right, guys. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Sayonara.
Good
Au revoir.
night.
Au revoir.
Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.